Hello, I'm Adam Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support us.
The Young and the Restless Spoilers Saturdays, full the 4th of April, 2026. Welcome back to the channel on this wild day. We have an absolute mountain of drama to unpack today, so let's just jump right into the deep end of the Genoa City chaos. And we have to start with the Newman family. Because things are reaching a boiling point. So Nikki Newman is completely furious right now. She is absolutely livid with Victor. And honestly, she has every right to be. Because what Victor has done to Jack Abbott this time is just beyond the pale. It is ruthless, it is cruel, and Nikki hates it. She hates seeing the man she cares about get destroyed by the man she is married to. But here is the twisted part. She is not angry enough to actually stop defending Victor, because that is just not who Nikki is. And it is this crazy psychological block she has. Her instinct to protect her brutal, manipulative husband is just stronger than her sense of right and wrong. It is like a reflex. Victor does something horrible, Nikki gets mad. But the second the outside world comes, for Victor, Nikki stands in front of him like a human shield. She just cannot turn her back on him, even when he deserves it. Even when he is practically begging for consequences, Nikki is right there making excuses. And right now, she is taking it to a whole new level of ridiculousness because she is actually going to Jack. So Nikki goes to Jack Abbott, and she has the absolute audacity to ask him to forgive Victor. Just think about that for a second. She wants Jack to just sweep all of this under the rug. Not because Victor has apologized, not because Victor has changed, but because Nikki wants him to. She wants Jack to forgive Victor for her because it would make her life easier, because it would stop her from feeling so guilty. It is just incredibly selfish, and she is using her history with Jack, her friendship with Jack, to manipulate him into letting Victor off the hook, and it is just a wild thing to watch unfold. But Jack is in this impossible position because he loves Nikki. He has always loved Nikki in some way or another, and he hates seeing her stressed out. But he also knows that Victor is a monster who will never stop coming for him. So Jack has to sit there and listen to Nikki beg for peace, knowing full well that Victor is probably plotting his next attack right at that very moment. And it is just frustrating. It is frustrating for Jack. It is frustrating for us watching it because Nikki is just completely delusional if she thinks this is going to solve anything. And speaking of Victor, let's talk about the mustache himself, because Victor Newman is not sitting at home feeling bad about any of this. He is not losing sleep over Nikki being mad at him. He is not worried about Jack Abbott. In fact, Victor is completely unbothered. He has an entirely different plan in motion right now, and knowing Victor, it is a plan that is going to be more successful and more devastating than anything he has done before. He is just sitting in his office, steepling his fingers and watching the pieces move on the board. Because he is that good, he is that arrogant, and he is always 10 steps ahead of everyone else in town. And Victor knows exactly how this is going to play out. He knows Nikki better than she knows herself. He knows that she is mad right now, but he also knows that she will forget all about it in a week. She will get over it. She always gets over it. And soon enough, she will be right back to defending him against the world. Even to Jack's face, Victor relies on that blind loyalty. He banks on it. It is the foundation of his entire empire. He can do whatever he wants because he knows his wife will eventually clean up the PR mess and stand by his side. It is a toxic, unbreakable cycle. But while Jack is busy dealing with Nikki and her emotional blackmail, the rest of the Abbott family is not just sitting around waiting to be slaughtered. Diane and Kyle are stepping up, and they are deciding to take the fight directly to the Newmans. They are tired of playing defense, so they decide to target a weaker member of the Newman herd. They need someone who can be broken, someone who can be leveraged. And they look at the family roster. And this is the funny part. They completely skip over Abby. They don't even consider her because, let's be honest, the Newman family barely even remembers that Abby exists half the time. She is just off in her own world, completely disconnected from the corporate bloodbath. She is not a threat. She is not an asset. She is just there. So Diane and Kyle don't waste their time on Abby. They need a real target, a target that will actually hurt Victor. So they set their sights on Victoria. Victoria Newman, the golden child, the loyal soldier. And Victoria is currently on this massive, very public Protect Dad tour. We have seen her doing this all week. She just got confronted by Nate Hastings and she defended Victor's wrongdoings to his face. She is going around town loudly proclaiming her absolute unwavering support for her daddy dearest. She is acting like Victor is a saint who can do no wrong. But it is all a facade because Victoria knows the truth. She is not stupid. She knows exactly what her father has done. She knows it is wrong. She knows it is unethical. She knows it is destructive. But she defends him anyway, because she thinks it is for the good of the company. She thinks it secures her position, but that internal conflict makes her vulnerable. She is putting on a brave face, but the cracks are there, and Diane and Kyle see those cracks. They know she is the easiest one to sway right now. Because unlike Nikki, who is completely brainwashed by her love for Victor, Victoria is a businesswoman. She operates on logic, even when it is twisted logic. And if Diane and Kyle can present a logical argument, if they can push the right buttons, they might just be able to break Victoria's loyalty. They confront her. And it is a tense, ugly showdown. They throw all of Victor's sins in her face. They challenge her morality. They challenge her leadership. And Victoria has to stand there and take it desperately, trying to hold on to her protect dad narrative while her own conscience is screaming at her. And it is just a brilliant strategic move by Diane and Kyle, because if they can crack Victoria, the whole Newman Fortress starts to crumble. Victoria is the load-bearing wall of Victor's current defense. If she falls, if she admits that Victor is out of control, then Nikki's blind loyalty won't be enough to save him. So the pressure is entirely on Victoria, and we are going to see just how much of her father's toxic legacy she is willing to carry on her shoulders before she finally snaps. But let's shift gears away from the corporate war for a minute, because there is a whole other mess happening with the younger generation, and we need to talk about Noah Newman, because Noah is currently an absolute emotional disaster. He cannot figure out his feelings for Audra Charles to save his life. It is like watching a car crash in slow motion. He is just all over the place. One minute he is fine, the next minute he is spiraling. And his interactions with Audra are just giving everyone whiplash. Sometimes he is sarcastic. He throws these sharp, biting comments at her, trying to act like he doesn't care, trying to act like he is above it all. But then the sarcasm fades, and he just becomes resentful. He gets angry. He looks at her and remembers all the pain and all the manipulation, and he just seethes with resentment. He wants to hurt her like she hurt him. And then he shifts to accusing her. He points the finger. He blames her for everything that went wrong. He demands answers that she probably cannot give. It is intense and it is aggressive, but then just as quickly as the anger comes, it vanishes. And suddenly, Noah is wistful. He gets this sad, longing look in his eyes. He remembers the good times. He remembers the connection they had. He remembers when things were simple and beautiful between them. And it is just heartbreaking to watch him bounce between these extremes. And the conversations they are having are getting deep. They are not just talking about the weather. They are digging into the old stuff, the London days, the history that they share. And they are even talking about the baby, the child that they lost. And this is huge, because that is a trauma that completely shattered them. It is a wound that never really healed. And bringing it up now in the middle of all this unresolved tension is just throwing gasoline on a fire. You can see the raw emotion when they talk about it. The pain is still so fresh for both of them. And in those moments when they are talking about their lost child, all the sarcasm and the anger just melts away. And they are just two broken people who share a tragic history. It bonds them in a way that nobody else can understand, and it pulls them closer together even when they are trying so hard to stay apart. It is a dangerous magnetic pull. And the craziest part of all of this, someone is watching them. Sienna. Sienna is standing right there observing this entire intense emotional exchange. She sees the way Noah looks at Audra. She sees the walls coming down. She sees the wistfulness and the pain and the deep, undeniable connection. And you have to wonder what is going through Sienna's head right now, because she is the current lover. She is the one who is supposed to have Noah's heart. So how does Sienna react to this? Is she upset? Does she feel a knot of jealousy forming in her stomach? Because seeing your young lover get that emotional with his ex is enough to make anyone insecure. She has to be wondering if Noah is still in love with Audra. She has to be wondering if she is just a placeholder. The anxiety has to be creeping in. But then again, maybe Sienna is approaching this from a completely different angle. Maybe Sienna is just looking at Audra and scoffing. Maybe she is looking down on her. Sienna is an older, more experienced woman. She might just view Audra as a little girl, A messy, dramatic little girl who cannot possibly compete with a real woman like her. Sienna might just be completely dismissive of the whole thing, confident that Noah is just dealing with his past so he can move on with his future. But either way, the tension is thick, and Sienna's going to have to make a move soon. Because Noah and Audra are a ticking time bomb, and we have to remember that this Abbott and Newman war has been going on for decades. It is not new. It is baked into the soil of Genoa City. Jack and Victor have been trying to destroy each other since the dawn of time, and Nikki has always been caught in the middle. She bounces between them like a ping pong ball. Loving Victor, caring for Jack, it is a dynamic that has caused so much pain, so much destruction, and yet here we are again playing the exact same game with the exact same players. Only now the younger generation is getting pulled into the crossfire. Diane and Kyle are weaponizing the feud. Victoria is being used as a shield. And people like Noah are just trying to survive their own personal dramas while the corporate bombs go off around them. It is a mess, a beautiful, chaotic, endless mess, and we would not have it any other way. Because this is the drama that fuels this town. This is the raw reality of Genoa City.